the latest on October 15th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. The only system active around the world that has tropical cyclone status is Tropical Depression 15L, which has just emerged off the coast of Africa at this time of year, believe it or not. Day 288 of the year. It's October 15th, 72 storms have formed so far, number 73 could be on the way, day 136 of the Atlantic hurricane season. 95L is also active further out towards the Caribbean. And on day 153 of Pacific hurricane season, 98E could develop along the coast of Mexico later on this week. No systems are active in the western Pacific, which is a relief after Typhoon Hagibis in the last few days. And no storms are active in the southern hemisphere either. It's all quiet here, leaving only 3 systems on the radar today. The real story is Tropical Depression 15L, 35 mile an hour winds, our estimate pressure 1010. It's 203 miles from Praia, the capital of the Cape Verde Islands, 14.4 north, 20.5 degrees west. Likely to move over the islands as a tropical storm, probably weak. But you can't rule anything out, can you? Moving towards the northwest generally. At most, it will survive until Friday when it weakens to a TD and possibly remnant low by then or even before. Part of that might be due to wind shear, because look at that towards the northern islands there. Up 25 to 30 knots at the moment. It's not too bad, around 10 to 15 knots where the centre of 15L currently is. It will pass through that threshold as it reaches the islands in the next 24 to 48 hours. Wide shot of the Atlantic, you can see both of those systems, certainly 15L looking better. It looked much better earlier today actually, not quite as good in latest frames. You can also see 95L as well there in the Caribbean zone, near there, and also a very broad system over Central America, part of it spreading into the Western Caribbean, and even that has a small chance of development as it moves towards the west-northwest on the Atlantic side. The Eastern Pacific, you can't see that invest on this side. 96E died today, which is remarkable considering National Hurricane Center at one point had a 90% chance on that thing. But it's gone, it's all gone near the Baja California Peninsula. Out over the rest of the Pacific, what's left of Ima, well off towards the north now, well beyond the Hawaiian Islands, that's long gone now too. The Western Pacific looking fairly quiet. There is a little disturbance there in the Philippine Sea, it hasn't yet been designated, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a designation get put on that one. But at the moment, generally all quiet in the Western Pacific. Most of the waters are crystal clear. South China Sea, nothing going on there too. The Australia and South Pacific region is also looking quiet. Just a few thunderstorms near just towards the northeast of Vanuatu and to the northeast of Samoa. And in the Indian Ocean, things looking fairly quiet here too. A few thunderstorms blowing up off the western coast of India. That's pretty typical for the time of year, and nothing of a tropical nature in terms of cyclone activity on the cards. Sea surface temperatures have rebounded a little bit off the western coast of Mexico in the Pacific side, so that could fuel 98E. The Gulf of Mexico, the northern Gulf, definitely cooling down as you look towards the US coast there. And the Caribbean also cooler as well, mainly due to that cloud cover, I should think. Temperatures dropping. Temperatures are good for 15L until it passes the Cape Verde Islands, and then it will drop off a little bit. It'll be marginal by that point, so it will only weaken slowly, I should think, but it won't get very strong in the first place in all likelihood. North Indian Ocean piping hot, Western Pacific still recovering from Hagibis, but down there towards the tropical zone it's looking very warm. And here is the latest satellite imagery of Tropical Depression 15L. This is a hybrid infrared imagery, unenhanced and water vapor. You see a lot of dry air beyond the storm's little shield there on the western side. Certainly got the rotation for tropical depression status. A little bit skeptical about the winds. ASCAT are due to pass the system very soon indeed. Hopefully they get a clear pass on it, and we can find out what the latest is on what may be our next name, which would be Nestor in the Atlantic. That's the next name on the list. In the Eastern Pacific, it's Octave. In the Central Pacific, we are looking out for Hone. Over in the Western Pacific, the next name on the list now is Neoguri, now that Hagibis is gone. And in the North Indian Ocean, the next name on list 8 is Kiyar. You can find Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest, our YouTube page, search Force 13 all in text and subscribe if you haven't so far. And you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter under the same name, and you can get in touch with us on any of those outlets. That's all for now, and we'll have another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colours wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.